Well, let me get let's all get a quick cough out of the way. Clear your throat. Count us down, Spencer.
10. No. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're live. Kevin McClure, good buddy of ours from Birmingham, Alabama. Are you from actually Birmingham, Alabama? Or are you from near Birmingham, Alabama?
Over on the Chelsea side of Hoover.
Over on the Chelsea side?
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, well, we were just talking about guided hunts. And you're talking about guided
The
hunts.
4 main hunts in Alaska.
Only, okay, so you're
Yeah.
talking about straight out of just doing it in Alaska.
That's the only place I've ever looked at doing it. So
Okay. Well,
I was those dollar signs were kind of shocking there.
yeah, no,
Give
I
ya.
would definitely agree with those dollar signs.
Yeah, they're definitely quite scary.
As usual, I am Max Cavassa,
And I'm Spencer Evans.
and you are listening to the American Wild Show.
That you are.
I think that there's a lot of really good opportunities to hunt here in the Southeast. You know, we're hunting here in Alabama. I mean, we can hunt whitetails, turkeys, doves, ducks, geese, alligators
Yeah, every once in a while.
every once in a while. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to hunt. I mean, I definitely want to go hunt an elk here within the next, I'd say my 3-year plan on hunting an elk. I don't know about the rest of the big 4. Because those dollar signs are adding up pretty quick.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
Well, one day before I die, just to bucket this thing, I'd like to kill a grizzly bear. I think you're on the same.
I'm definitely on the same wavelength.
Oh, hell, I'd love to kill a grizzly bear. Like, if I die, that's how I plan on dying is, having an epic battle with a grizzly bear,
Well, I don't know about that.
Something like out of, what is it, that movie, Legends of the Fall? I don't
Legends of the Fall. No, I'm not familiar with it.
know. Uh-oh. You got to watch that. At least the ending.
At least the ending.
Go ahead and spoil that
There's
for
a-
you.
There's a grizzly bear attack.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I'd met Spencer, actually, he was talking about some, fantasy thing about the Revenant, about how he wanted to,
Oh, yeah, that's exactly how I plan on going down.
it's just a knife fight with a grizzly bear.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a mutual demise.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but if that's your jam, then more power to you, I guess.
Absolutely.
I mean, but you're assuming that, the grizzly bear is going to win.
No, we're both going to die.
Oh, you're simultaneously both going to die?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a mutual destruction. It's going to be a big deal.
Well, one time I walked up upon 4 of them. I think you changed your mind real quick if you ever did see one.
Oh, see, that's why it's going to be a one-on-one battle.
One-on-one battle, the real battle royale.
Exactly.
But
I don't think you get to pick one. I think you start on one, you got the other 4.
yeah, that's
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I can't promise myself anything, but you never know.
But that's later on down the line.
Oh, yeah, we're talking 50, 60 years.
That's not something we got to worry about tomorrow.
Exactly. Nah.
But I tell you what is coming up right around the corner is dove season.
That's right. It starts next weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, next Saturday.
What is
at-
that, the
at
14th,
noon.
15th?
No, the 9th.
9th.
The 9th of September.
All right. That's here in Alabama, right?
Here in Alabama. I think it's dove season in Alabama. I think actually people are starting to shoot some teals up in Nebraska or Kansas. I know teal season is opening soon in Georgia too. I gotta go look at all the lists. But Kevin, you like that dove meat, right?
Oh yeah, it's good. It's real
What's
good.
your favorite game meat, you think?
I don't know that I've only had it one time, but that might be it.
Yeah,
Dove
you
meat,
really
it's
you think so?
really good.
It's good stuff. You ever had a pigeon?
I have not had pigeon.
I hear that's good too. I imagine it's probably.
I'd be too sketched out to try that.
Actually, now that I think about it, I have had pigeon. Actually, my dad's mother, or no, who was it? I'm trying to remember who cooked it in a ragu sauce, like a pasta sauce, some pigeon.
That actually sounds really good.
Not like your street,
Well, of course,
rats,
right? I mean, it's
pigeons, but wood pigeons. That was damn good. Yeah, I have had pigeon actually.
damn, you're making me hungry.
Good stuff. I don't think that I've actually ever had dove. Never been dove hunting until next week, hopefully. But I don't know. I think duck is probably my go-to, my number one.
Kevin, how often do you go dove hunting?
Never been.
Never been. Well, that makes two of us. I don't think I've ever
Well,
been.
that makes
either.
three of us right now, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I've never been dove hunting.
You said you're going up to the Muscle Shoals area, is that right?
Yeah, I'm going up to Muscle Shoals. Gonna be doing a little hunt over some mullet, and I think maybe a little corn in a big old cornfield that I guess they've cut it or harvested or something. But no, it should be I'm going with my buddy of mine. I mean, he says his family, they kill doves up there every year, so I'm not worried. Probably maybe get a little mojo, get a couple other decoys from out there. But yeah, it'll be a good time.
You going with a 12 gauge or a 20 gauge?
You know, I wish I had a 20 gauge. No, I'm going with my 12. I don't have a 20 gauge. And to be honest, all the 20 gauges that I've ever shot, I think 20 gauge almost kicks worse than a 12 gauge, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, to my experience.
I disagree with that. I've always thought 20 gauge was real light.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely disagree.
Yeah?
Maybe not even just a kick, but just a light gun you can swing through real easy.
Yeah, it's a lighter weight. I don't know. The kick, for some reason, it's always felt almost worse than a 12 gauge. What, Kevin? What do you got? You got a 12
I'm
and
gonna
a 20?
disagree. I just got a 12.
You just got a 12?
Yeah.
I've shot
a 20.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I mean, down the line, I want to have a full set. I want to have a 10, a 12, 16, 20, 28, 410.
You ever heard of those 2 gauges?
I've never heard of a 2 gauge.
Yeah, it's like a cannon.
I would
in
imagine
Pioneer
it is.
days, people would
10 gauge is like a cannon.
yeah.
I could not imagine a 2 gauge. That sounds.
People used to hunt for a whole village at a time. They go out duck hunting, try to get a whole flock at once. They do it
Really?
from a boat
With a 2 gauge.
with a 2 gauge. It's like 8 feet long. I've only seen one in video, but
Interesting. That does not sound like a fun gun to shoot.
it sounds like a great gun to shoot.
Yeah?
I'd shoot it.
It's like a Barrett. Would you want to shoot a Barrett 50 cal? It's like something you want to do once at least.
Yeah, once.
Maybe once.
Maybe once.
Maybe.
Maybe once. I got a buddy who can shoulder a Barrett 50 cal. He's a big man.
I bet.
Shout out to you, Jake Owen. You're a big man out there. But getting back on the topic of like going out west, going out to Alaska and doing a really big guided hunt. I mean, I'm pretty content right now with everything that we can hunt in Alabama. Do you consider gigging frogs as hunting?
More like capturing, I guess.
Capturing.
I don't know.
It's kind of like a weird mix. It's not fishing, obviously,
No, definitely not.
but it's not. Well, because you're also spotlighting for them. It's kind of like a big no-no in the rest of the hunting world.
You can do it for hogs sometimes.
That's right.
There's some
You
exceptions.
can do it for hogs, and sometimes you can do it. But hogs don't have eye glow, I believe.
You sure?
I never heard that.
I'm fairly certain. I've never hunted for hogs at night with a light, so I don't know. But that is something that I believe that I've heard in the past.
Well, you've seen those guys go out with like the thermal night vision.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, full 9 yards,
They,
semi-auto. You know,
Suppressed and everything.
suppressed.
Man.
I mean, flying around in helicopters. I mean, it's a combat zone down
They
here.
can take out a whole sounder. Just 2 guys.
See, that's something. That's something I've always wanted to do is hunt hogs, and
Oh,
I've just
yeah,
never
man.
had the chance to do it. But
Yeah, I think, talk about hunting. All of us are fairly inexperienced hunters. I mean, we're newer hunters,
yeah, I mean, we don't got 20 years under our belt. No.
No, not even close. There's a pretty big barrier to entry sometimes in hunting. I mean, Kevin, you were talking about you wanted to get a little land lease here for this season.
I've been looking at them, trying to find some. Hey, if you don't know a lot about it, it's hard to find a property to lease.
Yeah.
Plus, at least here, all the good land's really taken.
Yeah.
Everything that looks available is kind of more of a weekend getaway than a.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like like the number one struggle for hunters is to find land to hunt on. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why everybody takes advantage of public land and stuff like that. But
Yeah, public land. I mean, it's good to have. You definitely don't want to step on any toes.
no, it's always a struggle.
You know, I mean, like you said, what was it you were saying earlier about if you shoot a buck, don't come back?
Yeah, if you hunt on other people's land, you always got to respect them. And
Yeah, of course.
you're very appreciative they let you hunt there, but it's hard to take a big buck from somebody else if you didn't
Yeah,
work
yeah.
the land, you didn't seed it, you're not paying for it.
Of course.
I mean, it's just hard to take that from them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would never go out on
And-
someone's land that they're letting me hunt and shoot, an 8-point that I'm sure that they've been looking at on, trail cams. And
I think they'd actually be more upset if you shot a spike,
you think so?
because that'll grow and make more
That's true.
bucks.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Uh-huh.
true.
It's weird how the rules change too on other people's property. I've been on a few of them. I know one guy, his rules just always better. So if you shot a spike, he doesn't really want you to, but if you did, next one's got to be a 4-point or just better.
Okay. Yeah.
Next one's a 6. But I've seen some people, they think once their deer's 3 or 4 years old, they're gonna start hiding. They only come out at night. You won't see them anymore. So go ahead and
Yeah.
get those.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard similar guys talk about similar things. Where don't. Yeah, interesting. I mean, everybody's got their own personal philosophies on it. I am got no problem with shooting does, assuming that they're, overpopulated.
Well, they are overpopulated.
Yeah, I mean,
in the
yeah.
State of Alabama.
I think I've heard before that the best ratio is a 2-to-1.
2-to-1 doe to
Two
buck.
doe to-
That sounds about
doe to
right,
buck.
yeah.
But I think wild Alabama, like not managed property,
yeah.
gets to be 10-to-1.
Really?
So that's something people are always trying to manage.
Wait, you mean not managed as in
Like
not
hunters
hunted?
not hunted. People aren't keeping track of it. Just
And it just naturally escalates to 10-to-1.
I've heard that before.
Okay.
You can't quote me on it. But
Right. Yeah. I think that a younger doe is also going to taste better, in my opinion, than an old buck. If you shoot a 3-year-old buck, I mean, it's going to be a lot tougher.
I mean, I think if you're going after venison, isn't it better to usually go after doe and does instead of bucks or something like that? Because
is.
right, the age of the meat. Is that right?
Yeah,
I like doe meat better.
Yeah.
I can taste the difference.
I agree.
I also think if you're shooting a buck, the meat's an added bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
You're shooting
It's
it for the horns.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. I know we got into this a little bit last time, but I had a buddy come up to me and he said, "Hey man, I got a good taxidermy guy down where I'm from," and I was like, "Well, I'm not going to use him because I'm never going to get a buck shoulder mounted because it's just not something I'm into. I'll take a buck and I'll do a skull mount on my wall just because, as a remembrance, but
You mean a Euro mount? Or
well, we've always called it a skull mount, where it's literally just shoot a buck, take the head, put it on an ant pile. The ants will eat all the organic material.
Right.
And then after however long, you'll be left with just the bones and the antlers. And then take that and throw it on a plaque and throw it on your wall. Is the way that we've done it. But not me personally, but people in my family and who have kind of, who I hunted with when I was younger. But to me, just a shoulder mount, it's
See, I love shoulder mounts.
it's never gonna look as good as it's. I mean, you're never gonna look at a shoulder mount and say, "Wow, that looks just as good and lifelike as looking at an actual buck out there in the field."
Nah, but I mean, it'll still look pretty damn good.
I mean,
but you can see it every morning when you come down
Yeah,
the stairs.
exactly. I mean, you're-
other people can see it.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand it, but
And when you look at it, you see all the work you've done, planting green fields all summer. It's like a trophy. I mean it's never going to look as good as the day you got it, right?
yeah, exactly. And I mean, nowadays they've got taxidermy work down to such a science that it looks great. I mean,
Yeah,
they got
I mean-
competitions and world championships of taxidermy, and they do some killer work, man. I mean, no doubt about it. No, I'm not trying to take anything away from those taxidermists. I mean, it's a real art what they do.
Yeah,
A good one.
Definitely is. Definitely is.
I'm sure you probably got some not so good taxidermists.
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
some absolutely horrible ones.
Yeah,
You
I
ever
mean-
seen those pictures on the internet?
Oh my
Some of
God,
them-
dude.
Oh. What's worse is you see the people that get their pets taxidermy.
Oh my God.
You seen those?
I've never seen it. That's just creepy.
That's
though.
yeah, it's pretty
It's a
creepy.
little
You know,
odd.
you get the little old cat lady, and she got all her cats taxidermied. Those are not pretty pictures to see.
No, it is. It is not.
Mm.
It would be I would not enjoy walking into a room and seeing a bunch of taxidermied cats.
Oh, yeah, you think her relatives might be around the hallway or something. So,
Oh God.
Oh man, yeah. Where does it stop? I mean, next thing you know, you're. Ah, ugh.
One
I don't
thing-
even want to think about it.
I mean, that is my view on shoulder mounting animals. I do not have a problem with like doing a bear rug.
A bear rug.
A bear rug I can get behind. You know, or if you cape out a turkey, or if you keep your turkey's beards and you hang your turkey beards up somewhere. But I wouldn't do a. I mean, Kevin and I were talking about this earlier. How much did you say it is to do a good, full mounted turkey?
I think it's like $900.
$900, man. You know what I could do with $900?
A lot.
I could do a lot of
Lease the land to go hunting on.
exactly. I could do a lot of stuff with $900, man.
I think you can do just a beard and a cross mount
Mhm.
for $450, but still, I mean, that's a shoulder mount on a deer.
I mean, I know we actually all know Rob, our buddy from Maryland. His grandfather just took all the beards from his turkeys, boraxed them, and I think what he did is put the beards in the shotgun shell that he used to kill that turkey, and then he's got them hung up kind of like in the rafters of, I think he said he had a store, some sort of store where he had them hung up. I mean, that I can get behind all day, you know, having all your beards hung up.
I really like to see deer antlers made into knife handles and all
Oh,
kinds
that's
of.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have a friend down in Georgia who does it. They look real cool.
Oh yeah. Does he
Actually, my favorite thing, he's taken a Gibson guitar, but he made a guitar stand with a couple deer antlers.
that's pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
Is he doing the blacksmithing on it too?
I don't think so.
No, he's just buying the knives and then fitting the handles to them.
He has a friend who can run a forge, and
Okay. Cool beans.
he does just about everything, so including make bows, long bows by hand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is he
Wasn't that a lengthy process? I mean, some of the wood has to sit around and dry for years.
Well, I've been looking into doing that for quite a while. He said he spends about 12 hours to make a long bow.
We're good.
quick fire drill there? Don't know what that was about. Anyways, what were we talking about? Longbows.
Yeah, longbows. It's a lengthy process, right? I mean, it's
I've never looked into it. I got no idea.
because don't you have to press the wood or something like that, and then you have to.
Yeah, if you're making it from laminate, but he just if you follow the grain of the wood, it has about 7. Each year it's got
Yeah.
the ring. He takes about 7 of those. I think
Okay.
he likes it with hickory. If you don't break that, the bow won't break.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or it will, but
Or it
lots
could.
lots of force.
Right.
If you split one of those rings, that's where the bow's going to break when you're
Interesting.
whittling it.
Interesting.
And if that's not strong enough, he'll put a sinew on the
Yeah.
front face of the bow.
Oh yeah.
So he also
Um,
makes his own muskets. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. I've looked into that a little bit. I mean,
That's intense.
that is intense. Yeah, it's making is it like flintlock?
yeah, flintlock.
Yeah. Oh man, those are real pretty.
Well, I know up in North Alabama on Wheeler Wildlife Refuge, you can only hunt with true flintlocks out there. It
Really?
can't be a muzzleloader. It can't be anything else. It has to be a true flintlock,
Yeah.
like Davy Crockett type flintlock. So,
Mhm, yeah.
but yeah, shoot, that's
I mean, you got muzzleloaders now today that are.
no different than rifles.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I can't
man.
imagine hunting with a flintlock, to be honest with you, because
No,
there's the
that-
delay of the firing mechanism,
Right.
and you got to hope to God that the deer or whatever you're trying to shoot doesn't move in
Yeah.
between that, and then it finally fires and it leaves the barrel and everything. But I mean, it's beautiful, but at the same time, it's a lot of work.
I could not imagine wing shooting with like a flintlock shotgun. I don't even know if that's even a thing, but that would seem pretty intense. But your buddy who builds those longbows, does he hunt with those?
Oh yeah,
Oh, damn. See, I'm assuming he builds his own arrows and
everything.
what does he hunt with those?
Deer, squirrel, snakes, anything that goes by.
Damn, that's pretty intense, man.
That is intense.
Now, the arrows took, I think he said 4 hours a piece to make them.
Wow.
So the arrows seemed a whole lot harder.
He's dedicated.
Yeah, he weighs them out. Each one of his arrowheads 175 grains, I think.
He weighs them out.
Weighs them out perfect. He real methodical.
Yeah, I would
got an eye
imagine.
for detail. So
I would imagine. Man, I mean, bow hunting with a modern compound or recurve bow is hard enough.
Yeah.
Bow hunting with a traditional longbow just sounds just next level stuff, man.
That's for the guys that want a true challenge and when they're out hunting and
yeah.
not just, sitting up in a blind or something like that. That's some true skill involved.
I mean, just the process of building your own bow, building your own arrows, fletching them out, practicing, going out, using that. I mean, you're owning the whole process.
Oh yeah, but you appreciate it a whole lot more when you
yeah.
actually kill something too.
Oh yeah.
I can only imagine.
Oh yeah. Man, that would be intense.
That would be.
Kevin, you're full of surprises, man. Kevin, he's got some tricks up his sleeve. I tell you what.
not wearing sleeves.
He's not barely wearing sleeves. We can see all of his tricks right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
How about that muzzleloader thing? We talked about how they're just as good as rifles now. They're still classified as a primitive fire weapon.
Yeah, they are still classified.
Primitive firearm.
Primitive weapons, not primitive.
Primitive weapons. Like who we were talking about, Rob, our buddy up in Maryland. He can't. I believe he cannot hunt whitetails with a rifle. So he uses a shotgun or a muzzleloader. And I mean, those muzzleloaders, man. I mean, I would love to get a muzzleloader. Because here in Alabama, I believe you got archery season, and the last week of archery season is also muzzleloader season.
Or youth firearm.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know all the what the breakdown is of the guys in Alabama, what percentage are going out and hunting, in the archery season, and then what percentage are going out and hunting the rifle season. But I mean, my thought on it is that I don't bow hunt, don't own a bow, shot compound bows before. Think it's awesome. Love to get into it at some point. It's just a large barrier with money. I mean, they're expensive, man. But I think that taking advantage of that muzzleloader season before rifle season, I mean, it might be a good way to go about hunting.
I'm not sure how that would go. The deer know when it's hunting season.
That's true.
They do, yeah. They're not dumb.
Oh yeah, they know.
They're also not moving around as much when it's hot like it is, and if it is hot, not sure I'd want to eat it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the season last year sucked so bad. It was 80 degrees in December.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's nothing you could do about it down here. So.
Yeah, I know. I saw an interesting statistic that from 2006 to 2016, the sale of duck stamps in Alabama had increased, I think something like 65%.
I'm not surprised.
But the thing is, when we've got that hot weather, there's not as many ducks coming down south. I mean, I know you and I have gone back and forth on that issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you've gone duck hunting up in North Alabama.
Yeah.
And had limited success. Or no success.
Pretty much no success every time I've been out there. I mean, it's terrible.
Well, maybe you're just a shitty duck hunter.
You think that Duck Dynasty thing had to do with the increase?
I think it had everything to do with that.
I think
every Joe and his son wanted to go out and hunt ducks after they were watching Duck Dynasty.
Because it's badass.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, you get a bunch of idiots out there who don't know what they're doing. And you're out there at 2 a.m. trying to stake a spot. Everybody's out in their John boat, can't see for shit. And next thing you know, I mean, that's how accidents and stuff happen. So
I think you're probably way more likely to have a hunting accident, duck hunting or wing shooting than you are deer hunting with a rifle.
Well, yeah,
If I
definitely.
was guessing,
I
you
think
know.
there's more variables involved with duck hunting or
Yeah.
quail hunting or
I mean,
something
just,
like that.
I mean, just swinging your shotgun around. I mean, if
with
you're,
your buddies,
with your buddies,
a couple brews. It's just
oh
it's
my
a
God! Don't even get me started on that. There is a time to hunt, and then there's a time to relax and unwind. I mean, I have had people offer to take me duck hunting that I've had to pass up just because of
Not wanting to get shot.
not exactly not wanting to get shot, and I don't know if they're out there what they're doing, drinking. It's just not smart, not smart at all.
I think most deer hunting injuries are just people not tying off to their climber.
Oh, I think for
Oh
sure.
yeah, that's
I
a
think for
that's
sure.
a terrible thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know.
I can see how it happens. One doe I killed was with a 338.
Yeah.
I can see, you think you're good, you got your back rest against the tree, you turn over 90 degrees. Now you don't have that rest anymore. Not tied off, you just fall out.
Yeah, no, I think definitely for sure the most injuries in deer hunting are definitely falling out of stands.
Yeah, and it's very easy to prevent too. I mean,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
proper mount and harness and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. The thing is, a lot of guys are out there using their 40-year-old stand and their 40-year-old tie down system, which is literally just a belt with a hook on it around their waist,
Yep.
and it's not a full body harness, so they take a tumble.
Yeah, oh
It's
yeah.
just it's unavoidable. I mean, there's really no excuse for it anymore, especially with the technology that's out there
Oh
today.
yeah, for sure. I think a lot of, like you said, I think it probably happens a lot more with climbers than, like a ladder stand. I might be wrong, but my gut instinct, that's what it's telling me.
Yeah, probably climbers. I mean, with a ladder, you're supposed to tie down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
feel like-
funny, those ladders, that wind gets to blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
They'll
scary
swirl you
thing.
around a little bit. But
Yeah.
It's a scary thing.
Not, it can be definitely pretty dicey at times.
So, Kevin, what are your hunting plans for this fall? What are you looking to hunt? Where are you going to hunt?
I'd really just like to get a deer, just meat hunt really. Stock
yeah.
up the freezer.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You only shot one deer last season, right?
Yeah, just one doe.
A doe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got it. You field dressed it, and then you
Send it off the processor.
sent it off to a processor.
Yeah.
How much did that run you?
About 110. But
Oh,
that's
110.
That's not too bad.
that's ground deer steak, backstrap. I like to keep the back straps whole.
You didn't get any summer sausages or sticks or whatever.
Oh yeah, I got pretty much all that. I like
Oh, you
that
did?
breakfast sausage though.
Okay, yeah.
That was real good.
How many? So for steaks, I mean, you're just all your loins, and what'd you get for steaks?
Just cube steak.
Cube steaks.
Yeah.
Good deal, man. Yeah, 110. That seems a little high to me.
110.
If you get it all ground at 65,
Okay.
and you get a lot more meat that way.
Mm-hmm.
But first deer, wanted to try a little of everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like you get tired of eating that ground though too.
Well, it's just when you have it ground, you just kind of pretend it's burger meat. It's not.
Oh yeah.
Nothing special to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of good protein, In my mind, for if you're meat hunting, I mean, you're hunting for that protein. Obviously, it's awesome to have steaks, but it's awesome to have burgers and meatloaf and meatballs and if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm so
Here's
you're
one thing I learned cooking it though. You gotta bleed your meat. Everybody loves the backstrap, but very few people cook it. You gotta bleed it before you do that.
explain that process.
Put it in the refrigerator with some water, in a bowl, put salt in it.
Yeah.
Sucks
Not-
all the blood out.
Not hard.
I didn't know that the first time I tried it.
Mm-hmm.
You learn.
Yeah. So you got we got deer. Ideally, what would be the ideal number of bucks and does for you to shoot, or do you have an ideal number?
For me right now.
For you and your family.
Yeah, I don't think my family would eat too much off of my deer. My brother
Really?
would.
Mm-hmm.
But my brother likes to eat, just not to cook.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah.
I'm the opposite. I like to cook and eat.
Yeah. What
But,
about turkey hunting?
I don't really think I'd shoot one. Every time I've been, I've seen one. Just see a big price tag on it. I'd hate to kill it, not mount it, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
You seen some nice toms?
I feel like turkey hunting's more just about being out there than it is.
I agree. I like turkey hunting because I don't like having to deal with the wind. for deer.
But you got to be all camouflaged, and you got to make the right call.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be invisible.
You gotta be damn near invisible for sure. But I would rather be invisible and spend, because I like calling. I like practicing with my diaphragms, and I've got a couple box calls and slate calls, and I just bring it all out there. But I really do enjoy practicing all my diaphragm calls.
Yeah, well, practicing when you're out there, you can scare them off.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you want to practice before turkey season starts. But I just hate dealing with that wind, man. I've never been able to get the groove of like, and it's just something.
You're
that
always
comes
on the
with time.
wrong side of it.
I'm always on the wrong side of the wind. It's annoying, man. But
I hate it when you get in your stand, the wind's perfect, you're downwind on the field, and then all of a sudden the wind just changes.
yeah,
halfway through your hunt.
God, that's the worst.
You want to either get up and move, ruin the hunt basically there. Or,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I just like to go turkey hunting, man. Don't have to deal with it. Just gotta be camouflaged.
Just
You
sit there
gotta
and
be on the
relax.
ground.
Just sit there and relax. Fall asleep sometimes. I mean, it happens. And the big thing with turkey hunting is, you can overcall for sure easily. I mean, even if you've got a solid call down, you can still overcall and just scare them away.
Did you see any turkeys out there at Tuskegee today?
I didn't see any out there today.
Nah.
I've heard. I think it was you who was telling me, Spencer, that every time you go out there to Tuskegee, you see deer or turkey. Is it?
It's
Yeah, I've seen a few
covered.
turkey. Usually see some deer when I'm out there. Just goofing around, driving around,
Yeah.
making sure my 4-wheel drive still works.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta check that 4-wheel drive every once in
Oh,
a while.
absolutely.
What were you saying,
Absolutely.
Kevin?
Oh, how often you go out there?
Shoot. I usually try to go out there once, maybe twice a month, and just kind of dick around.
Okay.
I do about the same.
Oh, see, there we go. I mean, you were out there. What, you were just testing out your 12 gauge today? Is that right?
12 gauge, 38 special, just having a little fun.
Having a little fun. That's what it's about.
Make sure I can still concealed carry and be safe with it. So.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
See, I've heard from you that you've seen deer and turkeys out there.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen
And
turkey.
then-
I've seen.
I have heard from other people that they have not seen Jack Diddley. I've heard people going out there and calling turkeys, haven't heard anything, couldn't get a turkey to shot gobble, nothing.
There's turkey out there. I swear to God, with my own 2 eyes, there's turkey out there. And
Maybe they're just telling me that so I don't go out there.
that could be it.
I
That
haven't
could be
seen
it.
a turkey, but I see lots of deer tracks, and I've been camping out there a couple times. Deer just run around all night.
Yeah, I mean they're all over the place out there. That's why I want to try and go hunting out there this fall. Once I get licensed and all that.
Right?
Y'all remember that supermoon?
Yeah, the supermoon.
Yeah. Moon's 30% bigger. As close as it's been.
Yeah.
last year.
When that was last year, right?
December
yeah.
11th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went camping out there that night. Deer were just running around.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, man, it's the public land here in the southeast is not what it is out west.
Oh God, no. I mean, most of the public land tracts are very small, comparatively speaking, and not to mention they get overcrowded. I mean, I remember going out this fall. I wasn't even doing any hunting out of Tuskegee. I was just looking around, seeing if anybody was
Yeah.
out there deer hunting. And literally everywhere I went, there was 2 or 3 cars parked, and I know for a fact they weren't out there hiking. I mean, so it's a very
Yeah.
active piece of land, public property, and it's probably like that at Oak Mountain State Park. I know
Yeah.
for a fact it's like that up in North Alabama.
Yeah, they're the only the best kind of the place that I can really think of is in North Georgia. You have the Chattahoochee National Forest, which butts up right against to the Nantahala National Forest in North Carolina, and which kind of engulfs the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and and the Appalachian Trail runs all through that. I mean, that kind of cluster, that's a pretty good, decent little area of public land, but it's nothing like, the big, huge tracts of public land that people have access to in Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Utah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like we were talking about earlier, going out in Alaska, I mean, huge amount of public land in Alaska. But I mean, if you want to go hunt out there, I mean, to be realistic, I mean, you really need to have a guide, you know,
Unless you just want to,
unless you
risk your
just
life out
gotta,
there.
set up nuts on you, and you really know what you're doing. I mean, you really got to know what you're doing,
Well, that's the catch-22. How do you know what you're doing if you hadn't been taught?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. I mean, you can buy an over-the-counter tag for elk in Colorado, and some other western states, and I mean, there's guys who go out there and have successful hunts. They're not shooting a monster bull elk, and
Right, but they're out there by themselves.
but
learning
they're
how
out
it's
there
done.
by themselves, doing it, trucking, and I mean, I think that is essentially the quintessential Western big game hunt. Obviously, we don't have elk to hunt here in Alabama or Georgia or
Aw.
Mississippi, but
You have to ask
something to think
yourself
about.
what you want, though. I mean, half the time you go hunting in Alabama, it's just to hang out with your buddies, have a good time.
That's a
But
good
if you're
point.
going to go to Alaska or go to Montana or something,
Oh, it's game on.
Oh, yeah.
you don't want to just go and not see anything.
Exactly.
Spend a week out there. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is, do you really need to go out and hunt an elk or a moose in Alaska when you can hunt some whitetails here in your home state and, get your meat that way?
Well, most of the hunters I know, they maybe not go to Alaska. Got one friend. He's the one I killed a deer on his land.
Mhm.
He goes out to Kansas every year. Spends a week out there.
Well,
They are
Kansas.
bigger out there.
I mean,
I bet.
Kansas. We could talk about Kansas and Illinois and all those. I mean, they just grow them bigger. Texas. I mean, I don't know what. I think a lot. I know Texas. A lot of it is just people let the deer grow, and every once in a while you will hear you will see some huge deer come out of Georgia and Alabama, and I think that right now the world record came out of Tennessee.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah, that was like an ingrowth. Or
it was a regular something, right?
Some mutation that had like 43 points or something.
Yeah, but I
Shoot.
do believe that it came out of Tennessee. But I mean, it was a huge buck.
One of
you know?
them mountain bucks.
One of them. You know what they say about people from Tennessee? One leg's longer than the other. Them people standing on hills all day. But
I've never
yeah,
heard that.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
heard that either.
yeah, but
Well, it's your philosophy too. I mean, if you do the always better philosophy, if I'm going to kill this one, it's got to be better than my last one.
mhm,
Or
yeah,
you've gone into the trophy hunting phase.
right,
I mean, I see why you would want to go somewhere else.
yeah, for
mean,
sure.
An 8 point's kind of rare in Alabama. I mean,
I mean, yeah, I would
think so.
agree. I would agree. It's not every day that you're going to see an 8-point hunt in Alabama.
Well, not to mention out in Kansas, they hunt over bait, and it's,
Yeah.
it's a
And they've got-
different
they've-
growth environment, development environment
yep.
from here in Alabama.
And Kansas is a pretty cold place, man. They've got there's some principle in biology that the more north you go, generally there are exceptions to this. The more north you go and the colder it gets, the larger that those animals get. I mean, in Canada and Alberta and other places, I mean, they have huge
Yeah, I mean, they
whitetails.
have to be monsters to withstand the snow and
Yeah.
cold and all that. So
I think it's the pressure too. You see them more.
Where you talking about in Kansas?
You go
or-
up north Canada, those rural areas.
Mhm.
Even New England people aren't hunting them as much.
right?
You think less pressure, you're just going to see them more.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely say for the southeast, as far as deer hunting goes, there's a lot of pressure for the whitetail population.
But there's also a lot of deer. I mean, there's a large population of deer here. I mean, that's why in Alabama you can shoot.
What is the limit? It's
I think it's five does and $3.
five dozen, $3.
5 does, $3. Third one has to be 4 points on one side, and it's 1 buck and 1 doe per day.
Right.
So
Right.
I also think this is weird. It's worth mentioning. We are the last state that's on the honor system for hunting licenses.
Are we still
Every
on
other
the
state,
hunt-
you have to hang the tag around the deer before you touch it.
Right.
Alabama, you just have to have a pen with you and write it down.
That's right.
Yeah. But when did they start instituting the game check through your, you can do it through your phone or call it in? That's a recent thing, right?
I've never heard about that.
Oh yeah, man, you gotta check those. You gotta
You
check
gotta
those.
Yeah, it's
with
pretty
the
serious
pen.
in some other states. I mean, you got to.
It can be, yeah. I know in Alabama for sure. The big thing is the pin. I think if a game warden comes out and he's talking to you and you don't have a pin, you
You're getting a ticket for
you're
it.
getting
Yeah,
a
you're
ticket.
getting
Hunt without a
spanked big
license.
time.
You get it's the exact same thing as hunting without a license if you don't have a pin. Now, does he pull out a pad of paper and see if it writes? I don't know. That would be the question.
Yeah,
that's a big deal in Alabama.
I've only had the pleasure of meeting one game warden. And
Really?
He was real friendly.
Right.
I gotta say, I was actually expecting a little different. We came in from a morning hunt. And he just had breakfast with us, and he didn't even go and search anything. Just said, "I'll be around here later. Make sure everything's in order."
Did he check your license?
No,
No.
never did. I've heard some stories of finding corn, doing a little air quote thing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not something you want to get caught with.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, a lot of guys do it. Like a lot of guys. I mean, I saw something that they went in. They took a little plane. I guess the Department of Natural Resources or whatever they call it here in Alabama, Division of Wildlife or whatever, went up in a little plane, just a little prop plane, and they were able to find, like 15 spots where they could clearly identify that the hunters were hunting over corn in like a 5 square mile radius.
Well, the rule right now is it has to be 100 yards away and out of sight of the
Right,
stand.
right.
Now, there's controversy over whether if you can see the corn, are you hunting over bait,
Mm-hmm.
or if you can find the corn and then see the stand, are you hunting over bait?
Right.
So if you find one kernel 100 yards from the stand in the green field, is that hunting over bait? That
I think we can all agree that if you find one kernel 100 yards away from the stand, that is absolutely not hunting over bait.
you get a
See-
ticket for it though.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of my philosophy with hunting over bait, and I think you and I have gotten into a conversation about this. But
I'm all about hunting over bait
to me, hunting over bait
legally.
with whitetail is no different than going out to Montana with your spin caster, putting some corn on a hook and fishing for some rainbows or some browns.
So what's the problem with that?
I mean, more power to you if you enjoy that, but there's just no experience, no skill involved. It's literally like shooting fish in a barrel.
I
Let
don't
me-
know
let
if
me
it's
ask, what do you
shooting
think
fish in a
about-
barrel?
What do you think about hunting over doe pea, or using doe pea to
Yeah.
hunt with?
What do you think about that?
Because that is a bait. That's
It
a
is,
type of
yeah.
bait.
I don't deny that, and that is legal here in the state of Alabama. But to me, it's a little bit different than hunting over food.
Well, I think hunting over.
And the thing is here is guys who hunt over bait, they prep the site for a month before they go out and hunt, right? So they're getting the deer used to the salt blocks, the
Yeah, they're
corn, the
getting them in
feeders.
a
I
pattern.
mean, it's they're getting them in a pattern. When you're out, here in Alabama with doe pea or something like that, typically, at least in my experience, I'll go out there, maybe a day before I go out there. I'll hang a few, things of scent, and then I'll go back, and then the day when I go actually in and hunt, I'll hang some more while I'm hunting. But I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's not
To me,
because
it's a-
that is not considered a bait. That is considered an attractant.
Well, then what about planting green fields?
Well,
I mean,
that's
I'd say
totally
that-
legal. I don't have a problem
totally
with that.
legal.
But,
And
but why is corn bad? But green
I mean,
fields-
these are all the philosophical questions. I mean, I have got in Texas. The first time I ever went hunting for whitetail was in Texas, over a feeder that went off at 4 p.m. and we knew that the deer would either be there right at 4 p.m. or a little earlier because they knew that corn feeder's going off.
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
And then when it gets, regardless, we went to Texas, did that, did not see a single deer, So, I don't know. Personally, this season, I would love to hunt over a little corn, just to kind of hedge my bets and ensure that I can get some meat in that freezer.
I could never do that.
I would,
Unless I was going out to Kansas where it's legal, but even then,
I think that you should at least have the option to do that legally.
Well, I think if you're hunting with a deer feeder that goes off at 4 p.m. every day, you're missing the hunt. But you're
I agree.
you're cheating yourself. There.
I agree.
Yeah, that's to me. That's what it's all about. Is I don't want you just cheat yourself out of an experience.
agree.
Out of actual skill that's involved with going hunting. I mean, to me, that's the whole reason I'm into outdoors stuff, hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, is because there's a level of skill involved that you can't just
agree.
get. It takes time and experience to gain the knowledge necessary to be successful in that. I mean, to me, it wouldn't even be worth it if hunting over bait with elk was allowed. I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like hunting a grizzly bear over bait. I mean, it's not the same experience. It's not at all.
I agree. Here in Alabama, have you guys been following that? How they got it passed in the Senate, where how you could legally hunt over bait? You just pay an extra $15 addition on your license, and you'd be able to hunt over bait. I don't think it got passed. I think it went through the Senate, the state Senate, and got passed, and then the House, and then it didn't get passed in the House or something.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't tracked that closely.
So, but you're familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have a vague idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the ruling is on if we're going to be allowed to hunt over bait this season. I'm thinking we're not.
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
Well, can you explain this? I think relatively Alabama, we have a little bit smaller deer than everywhere else, but
Oh, yeah.
almost every other state you can hunt over bait. What?
Well, I don't know about smaller deer. At least, maybe the average size in the state of Alabama as a whole is a little bit smaller than, of course, your Kansas and your Texas deer.
Of course.
But I will say, in North Alabama used to be primarily full of cotton fields, right? Its primary crop was, cotton. And then I want to say 30, 40 years ago, they started switching over to soybeans and corn because that was going to make them money. So then you get all these Tennessee deer coming down, into the Tennessee Valley because of the resources and stuff. And the deer population there, I'll tell you something. My grandfather, when he was growing up out on a farm in Hazel Green, Alabama, never saw a single deer from literally when he was born in the 30s up until the 80s, maybe 90s. Never saw a single deer in Alabama.
Really?
And it wasn't until they switched their crops over that they started seeing deer. And I'll admit there's some pretty freaking big deer up in North Alabama. You just got to be in the right place at the right time.
I mean, and they're predominantly growing soybeans and corn up there, or what are they growing?
Soybeans and corn, yeah.
Soybeans and corn?
Yeah, I mean, those are the necessary ingredients to grow some massive deer.
Yeah.
That's what they grow out in Kansas, along with the wheat and all the other stuff.
Yep.
But, down here, I will say I don't see a lot of crop compared to what I usually see up in, North Alabama. Pretty much everything south of Birmingham is, most of it is soybeans, some of it's cotton.
Yeah, that kind of gets into a little bit of the soils, the black belt soils here in the central region of Alabama. I don't believe that we're really in where we live here in Auburn, we're not really in the black belt soils, but you go over to Montgomery County where we've got our land, it's good for pasture land, and there's a bunch of deer out there, and there's a bunch of turkeys, and and that's kind of more of the natural. Well, you got to remember that the ecology here in Alabama, everything goes back to fire. I mean, naturally in the state of Alabama, every square inch naturally should be burned about every 20 years, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Oh God, no.
So the ecology of it is way thrown out of whack.
Definitely.
I've burned a 3-acre garden field before.
Well, right, but
prescribed burn.
Prescribed burn, yeah. But
even the necessary prescribed burns are not happening because nobody really seems or feels a need to have them happen.
Yeah, and it's inconvenient,
Right, it's inconvenient because you got to light your whole field on fire. Next thing you know, trying to burn 2,000 acres of cropland and
so
God knows what else.
I don't know how that has affected the deer growth, here in Alabama. I don't know. I mean, and I don't know that if naturally in Kansas they would have deer that big if they weren't growing so much corn.
I don't think they would.
I don't think they would.
That's my personal opinion. If they were growing anything else but corn, I don't think so.
I mean, if tomorrow or next, spring, every farmer in Kansas switched over to potatoes, I mean, who knows what would happen.
Can deer eat potatoes?
I got no idea.
I think it's the cold too, though, that they get.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
cold
definitely
definitely has
cold
something
too,
to do with it. I mean, because if you think about it, the colder it gets, the more calories they got to burn, the more they need to be bulking up in the spring, summer. late fall or early fall. So, but I mean, yeah, we haven't had any cold weather down here in what?
Oh my God.
2 or 3 years. I mean, it's been terrible.
It's been warm, man.
It's been terrible.
I mean, it's, by, February, it's up to 85 degrees.
And I know we briefly talked about this, Kevin. You do duck hunt, right?
Never been.
Never been. Well, I know you and I have been talking about this, and the duck hunting in North Alabama, at least, is abysmal.
It's abysmal.
It's terrible.
And,
I think that's due to the weather. Honestly, I don't think it gets cold enough. And I mean, we're close to the Mississippi, but we're not. I mean, there's really no incentive for them to come to this far south anymore. If it's
Well, I think here we're kind of on the border between the Atlantic and the Mississippi fly zones.
You think so?
Well, I haven't ever really studied,
Oh, this is pure speculation, by the way. We're discussing what we think is the.
Hey guys, we're just pulling all this out of our ass. I just want you to know that. Yeah, well, the fly zones, you got the Atlantic, Mississippi, Central, and Pacific.
What is that? The Mississippi Delta? Is that right?
Yeah, it kind of just follows the Mississippi River. I mean,
right.
The mecca of duck hunting is and always will be
Louisiana, Arkansas,
Mississippi.
I
would say in order. I would say Arkansas, Louisiana, then Mississippi. I really don't think that you can make an order.
I mean, it's all pretty good most of the time. I mean, those Duck Dynasty guys, they're doing just fine.
Yeah, they're doing just fine. But yeah, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana. Those are the spots. If you want to go duck hunting and you want to have good hunts in the timber or in the marsh, that's where you go.
That's because they're below sea level and got all that swamp water everywhere for them and everything.
They do got a lot of water, and the ducks are following the watershed of the Mississippi River.
Right.
And I mean, it's I was talking to a buddy of mine who hunts teal on Lake Seminole in southwest Georgia, which is kind of on the border between Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. And he said, at the beginning of the season, you can go and have some good hunts. By the end of the season, the place is trash. The ducks won't fly anywhere near it. He's got a couple little ponds on his property that he hunts and manages. And I was like, when was the last time you saw a mallard? And he said, never. So, he's killing wood ducks, but, people want to be shooting mallards. That's just the way it goes, man. And if you want to shoot mallards, you got to go to the spots where they are, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. I think you can have, and I got another buddy who duck hunts on Eufaula, Lake Eufaula, kind of on the border between Georgia and Alabama. He says he has successful hunts there. I think with these migratory animals, migratory birds, it is a lot more is focused on the weather, but I don't think it's all weather.
See, but my thing is, like some of the older guys I've talked to who have been duck hunting in Alabama for 30, 40 years.
Okay.
They would tell me these stories of how great it was out on, Lake Guntersville stuff up in North Alabama. I mean, it was incredible. They, and this was before a lot of people were going out there too. It was before the Duck Dynasty craze and all that.
Duck Dynasty craze.
Yeah, everybody was trying to grow their, 5-foot long beard and stuff like that.
I'm still working on it.
Yeah, well, you're doing better than I am. But anyway, yeah, these guys would tell me these legendary stories 15, 20 years ago, how it was just a insane experience to go out to Lake Guntersville and duck hunt, or, on the Tennessee River even. And that, the Tennessee River does come from the Mississippi River. So, I mean, it used to be a lot different 20, 25 years ago than what it is today. And again, I don't know I'm not an expert in migratory patterns or anything like that. But the only thing I can speculate is, I think it's the weather, and I think it's, migratory patterns and stuff like that. That's really the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting question.
We're gonna have to bring in an expert on this.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to bring in a couple experts and a couple state champion duck callers and some decoy makers and some guys who know what they're talking about, because we don't know what we're talking about.
Oh God, no.
Like
this
I said,
is
yes, disclaimer, we are talking straight off our ass. So
exactly.
No, but it's all interesting stuff to think about. I think we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. Kevin, you got any closing thoughts, closing statements?
Not too much about duck hunting. Don't know too much there.
No, doesn't know a lot about deer hunting though.
He does. Kevin.
I wouldn't say that.
Kevin is
Hey, more than I do.
a box of secrets, box of chocolates. Any other closing thoughts, ideas, statements, philosophical remarks?
I ain't got anything else to say, man.
Got to give us a good soundbite here.
There we go. Well, you know what? That's it. Spencer, what about you?
Oh man, it's nah, I really don't got anything other than stay tuned. We got a lot of these more coming.
Stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Get out there, make some memories, and that's all we got, man.
And we'll see you on the next episode.
We'll see you next time.